Welcome back to Codera. In this video, we will discuss the problem A, that is life of a flower, from the latest CodeForces round 759, which was rated for division 2. So let us quickly read the first problem statement. So the problem says that you have been given n days from Petia's life and you have to determine what will happen to a flower in the end. So Petia has a flower, and since he's a busy person, so you have been given n days from his life and you have to determine what will happen in the end to his flower, right? And what has been given to us is the flower grows as follows. There are some conditions. If the flower isn't watered for 2 consecutive days, then it will die. If the flower is watered in the ith day, so it will grow by 1. If it is watered in the ith day and it was also watered on the previous day, that is if the current day is I and it is watered on the ith day and it was also watered on the previous day, that is I minus 1th day, then on the ith day it will grow by 5, right? Instead of 1 centimeter it will grow by 5. And if it is not watered in the ith day, so it does not grow, right? These are the conditions that have been given to us, and it has been given that at the beginning of the first day, the flower initially is 1 centimeter tall, right? So initial height of the flower is 1 centimeter. You have to tell that what will be the height of the flower after n days, right? So in this problem, you have been given t test cases and you have been given a value n, that is the number of days from Petia's life, and all the n days are having ai from ranging from a1 to up till an. That is either ai can be 0 or it can be 1. If it is 0, so you have not watered the plant. If it is 1, so it is watered. And what you have to print is, you have to print a single integer that will denote the height of the flower after n days, and you have to print -1 if the flower dies, right? So this is the problem statement. Now let me quickly show you some test cases. So let's say if n is equal to 3 and the watering looks like this, if the array is 1 0 and 1. So in this case, what is happening is, initially my height I will say that my height is nothing but 1. On the ith day, that is on this day, I can see that I have watered it, right? Let's say I am taking a 1 based indexing. So on the first day, can I say that I have watered it? Yes, I can say that I have watered it, right? So that is why my height will increase by 1. After this, once I move to the second day, so I can see for this case that once I move to the second case, so since it is 0, so I have not watered it, so I will not be adding anything. After that, once I move to the next day, so what do I see? I see that here I have watered it, so that is why its height will increase again by 1. So the final height will be nothing but 3, right? Now let me look at some of the other test cases in this problem. So let's say if my n was 3 again, so if n is 3 and my array given to me is 0 1 and 1, and let's say the day is 1, then day is 2 and day is 3, right? So in this way, if it is given, so initially what will happen for this case, my height will be nothing but 1, right? Initially my height will be 1. So now let's try and see what will be my height after all the 3 days. So initially my height is nothing but 1. So what I check on the first day and I can see it is not watered, so my height does not increase. After that, I go to the second day and I see that it is watered, so my height increases by 1. Then I go to the third day and I see that it is watered, so I see that on I is equal to 3, that is on the third day it is watered, right? On this third day, ai is equal to 1. So now if it is 1, so I will check that what is I minus 1. I minus 1 in this case is the second day, right? So I will check, this is a of I minus 1 also 1, so I can see yes, it is 1. So I can see that it was watered on the second day as well, so that is why it has been watered for 2 consecutive days. So my height on the ith day, that is on the third day, will increase by 5. So this means 7, right? So in this way, my final height will be 7. Now let us have a look at some of the other test cases in this problem. So let's say if I have been given n is equal to 1 and my array element is 1, right? N is equal to 1 and the element is 0. So in this case, what I'll say is that initially my height was nothing but 1, and on the first day it is not watered, so my height will remain the same. So ultimately my final height will also be 1, right? Now let us have a look at the last test case for this problem, and that test case is when I have 4 days and on the first day I have watered it, on the second day I have not watered it, on the third day I haven't watered it, and on the fourth day I watered it, right? 1 0 0 and 1. So in this case, what will happen on the first, second, third and fourth, right? So in this case, you'll observe one thing, that on the first day, what do I see? On the first day I see that I have watered it, right? So my height initially was what? My height initially was 1, so I added by 1. Now I go to the second day and I see that I have not watered it, so I will not worry about it. Since I have not watered it, so it doesn't matter. But since I have not watered it, so I will check that if my on the day I is equal to 2, if ai is 0, right? So I will check if this is the condition. So I will check that on the I minus 1th day, that is on the first day, did I was my ai equal to 0? So I can see it was not equal to 0, so that is why my flower will not die, right? So I'll proceed further in this loop, and now I move to the third day. And once I move to the third day, so my I is equal to what? I is equal to 3. So in this case, once I move my I is equal to 3, so I see that ai is equal to 0, right? I see that ai is equal to 0. So that means on the third day it has not been watered. So I will check what is the previous day, that is the I minus 1th day, that is the second day. So on the second day I can see that it was not watered as well, right? So I can see that it was not watered for 2 consecutive days. That is why in this case my flower will die, and that is why I'll again update my height to -1, because since my flower dies, so I have to print -1 for this case. So these are the conditions and these are the test cases that you needed to keep in mind. Let me show you the code part for this problem. So talking about the code part, so what you have to do in this problem is, first of all you have to take n as an input, that is the number of days from Petia's life. Then you have to mark the resultant height as 1. After that you have to declare an array of n size, and you have to take the input. Once you take that, so you will be iterating from the 0th index up till the nth index, that is from the first day up till the last day, nth day. You will check if your ai is 1, that means if the current day is 1. So I will check that does the previous day exist. That means if my I is greater than 0, then the previous day, that is I minus 1, will also be existing. So I will check if my I minus 1, a of I minus 1, that is if on the previous day also it was watered. So that means my height will increase by 5 on the ith day, because if I have watered it for 2 consecutive days, then my height increases by 5 instead of 1. And if that is not the case, if it is not watered 2 consecutive days, if it is watered only on this current day, so that is why my height will just increase by 1. After that I will check if it is not watered on the ith day. So I will check that if it was not watered on the previous day as well, like if the previous day existed, that is if I was greater than 0, I mean it was not watered on the previous day as well. So I'll mark my height as -1, indicating that the flower has died, and I'll break from the loop. And after the loop is over, or let's say I have broken, or after the complete iteration for the end days is done, any of the above conditions, so I'll simply print my resultant height. If it is -1, indicating that the flower has died, otherwise I'll print the height of the tree after end days. So this was the code for the problem A. I'll be bringing more editorials related to this contest. Make sure to subscribe the channel, like the video as well, and give your feedback in the comments. Thank you everyone.